All right, let's dive into an ancient story from the book of Genesis that feels incredibly human. It's a story packed with faith, absolute desperation, jealousy, and then a powerful encounter right in the middle of nowhere. This is the story of Hagar and Ishmael.
So just imagine this for a second. You've been given this huge divine promise. You're told you're going to be the father of a great nation. But the years just keep rolling by and nothing. This is the real heart of the story. It's about that moment when deeply held faith smashes right into the wall of a desperate, unfulfilled dream. What do you do then?
So let's meet our central figures, Abram and his wife Sarai. They're the ones who got this incredible promise, but they are facing one massive, overwhelming problem.
Now, you have to understand, in their culture, this wasn't just a private heartache. It was a full-blown crisis. No heir meant no future for the family line, and it was a public, constant reminder of what they didn't have. This one simple sentence is really the engine that drives this entire story forward.
And this isn't some new development. The text is super specific about it. They've been living in Canaan for 10 years with this promise just hanging in the air. A whole decade. That is a very, very long time to wait. You can almost feel their patience wearing paper thin.
So what happens when divine timing just feels, well, too slow? You start to cook up a human solution. And that's exactly what Sarai does. She comes up with a plan that was, culturally acceptable back then, but as we're about to see, it was an emotional minefield. And notice who's taking charge here. It's Sarai. She's the one who identifies the problem, she kind of blames God for it, and then she proposes the solution. She is definitely not a passive character in this drama.
Just listen to her words here. She feels like God himself is the one blocking her. So she turns to her Egyptian maidservant, Hagar. The logic is, okay, if I can't have a child myself, maybe I can build a family through her. It's basically a surrogate arrangement, rooted in complete desperation.
And Abram, he just agrees. That's it. No discussion, no questions, no, hey, are we sure about this? His passive acceptance here is such a crucial detail because it totally sets the stage for the explosion that's about to happen. So let's see how this brilliant plan works out, because this seemingly clever human solution starts to unravel almost instantly. Instead of solving their problem, it creates a much bigger and way more painful one.
The plan works on a technical level. Hagar gets pregnant. But the second she knows, the whole power dynamic in the house just flips upside down. The servant, now carrying the family heir, starts looking at her barren mistress with contempt. The resentment was immediate.
And this just perfectly shows how badly the plan backfired. Sarai's goal was to build a family. The actual result was contempt and division right in the heart of her home. The very thing that was meant to bring them all together started tearing them apart. Sarai is furious, but look who she blames. Not Hagar, not even herself for coming up with the plan in the first place. She turns on Abram. This is your fault. The conflict that started between the two women now spreads like a virus, infecting the marriage of Abram and Sarai.
Abram, once again, is totally passive. He basically tells Sarai, she's your servant, you handle it. And Sarai handles it. She mistreats Hagar so horribly that the pregnant Hagar feels like she has no choice but to run away out into the brutal, unforgiving desert. And this is where the story takes a huge turn. Out there in the wilderness, all alone, completely vulnerable, running from everything she's ever known, Hagar has a direct encounter with the divine. The focus of the story shifts entirely to her.
The angel of the Lord finds her by a spring, a little bit of life in a place of death. She is utterly alone, a fugitive with no future, and it's right there at her absolute lowest point that she is found.
This is such a powerful question. First, the angel calls her by her name, Hagar, and then acknowledges who she is, servant of Sarai. She is truly seen. And then the questions force her to face her reality. She's running from abuse, but she's running to absolutely nothing.
Now, the instructions she gets are incredibly hard. Go back. Submit to the woman who abused you, but this really difficult command comes with a life-changing promise. You will have a son, and your descendants will be countless. She's given a future, a hope that goes way beyond her current suffering.
And the name for her son is so important, Ishmael. It literally means God hears. Her child's name will be a constant, living reminder that in her worst moment of misery and pain, she wasn't forgotten. She was heard.
So armed with this incredible promise, Hagar's story starts moving toward a resolution. Her response to this divine encounter changes absolutely everything.
And this right here is the climax of her story. Hagar, a marginalized Egyptian servant, becomes the very first person in the entire Bible to actually give God a name. She names God based on her own experience. She wasn't just seen by an angel, she felt seen by God himself.
And then she names the place where it happened. That little spring in the desert becomes Bir Lahai Roy, the well of the living one who sees me. Her personal transformative experience is now literally etched onto the map.
And the story comes full circle. Hagar does exactly what she was told. She goes back, she has her son, and Abram names him Ishmael, just as the angel had said. The promise made to her in the desert comes true.
The chapter closes by telling us that Abram was 86 years old when Ishmael was born. It's a simple fact, but it puts a bookend on this intense, painful, and ultimately life-changing period for everyone involved.
And that really leaves us with something to think about. This story is just full of human error, right? Impatience, jealousy, blame, cruelty, it's all in there. And yet the one theme that rings out louder than anything else is about a runaway servant who at her most desperate moment is found, is heard, and is seen. It asks us to think about the incredible power of that simple act of recognition, especially in those moments when we feel the most invisible.